I used to think I had no real talents. I was always a B student at school and I struggled to get picked first on the football team. And so, as a shy introvert, I didn't have a huge friendship circle. And I was starting to think that, hey, maybe I'd missed out on the luck lottery. Maybe I was born just not good enough. I'm sure you felt the pain of this unworthiness before, haven't you, in your own life? And I've since uncovered that this was all one big limiting belief. And so here are three ways that I broke free from the chains of that limiting belief and unleashed my hidden talents. Hey, it's Matt, and welcome to the My Creative Calling podcast. This episode is Unleash Your Hidden Talents, the power of your individual gifts. Growth mindset versus fixed mindset. So it turns out that feeling of shame I was feeling was all fixed mindset thinking. And so here's a quote from Carol Dweck, who wrote the book Mindset. Individuals who believe their talents can be developed through hard work, good strategies, and input from others have a growth mindset. They tend to achieve more than those with a fixed mindset, those who believe their talents are innate gifts. This is because they worry less about looking smart and put more energy into learning. So, to succeed in life, we must adopt this growth mindset. And so it can be as simple as switching your language from I can't do X to I can't do X yet, but I can learn how. Now I'll take you through some differences between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. First, I'll outlay the fixed mindset. So they believe their intelligence and abilities are static, and this leads to a desire to basically try and look smart. These are the behaviors we see from the fixed mindset. People avoid challenges, they give up easily, they see efforts as fruitless, they ignore useful negative feedback, and they feel threatened by the success of others. And so as a result, they may plateau early and achieve less than their full potential in their work and life. And so now we'll compare that with the growth mindset. Individuals with a growth mindset, so they believe that intelligence and abilities can be developed. And this leads to a desire to learn and grow. And so the characteristics we see from a growth mindset person are they embrace challenges, they persist in the face of setbacks, they see effort as a necessary step on the path to mastery, they learn from criticism, and they find lessons and inspiration in the success of others. And so as a result, they reach ever higher levels of achievement. And so that little breakdown was based on the work from Carol Dweck in the book Mindset. I had a million reasons for not stepping out onto this creator slash solopreneur path. Like I'm not creative enough, I'm an accountant, I'm too old, endless excuses, but they're all false. And so I know that I can do anything with enough hard work, dedication, and that willingness to learn. And so can you. And that starts with picking yourself. At some point during my life, I realized that many people in the best positions weren't necessarily that special. So, you know how you have a boss who doesn't seem that much smarter than you, or you have an equivalent colleague and maybe they earn, say, 20% extra than you, or maybe you've seen the person on the sports team who you thought you could always easily outperform. Well, it turns out that you don't have to be the best to get to the top. You just have to be willing to choose yourself. And by that, I mean speak up, make a request, have an uncomfortable conversation. The more you ask, the more you get. It's simple, but it's true. And so that boss who doesn't seem much more intelligent than you, maybe they've actually built quality relationships that go much further than intelligence in business in life. And that person who earns 20% more, well, they probably just make the point of asking for a raise every time they deliver on a project. And the person on the sports team who you think you're better than, well, they're probably just more of a team player who's mastered their role. You know, the old saying goes, a champion team will always beat a team of champions. You still have gifts. Look, I know I told you that you're not born with any special talents. Remember, that's the fixed mindset view. And we can learn our way out to utopia, which is the growth mindset view. But in fact, you do have something special about you, something exceptional, which is impossible to quantify. And I guess I would call that a gift, maybe even your superpower. And so, all right, you're probably wondering, hey, what is it? And it's that you are you. So you have a story and you are someone who has never existed before and you will never be repeated. You have a unique DNA, body, mind, voice, accent, and a whole set of experiences. So you're nothing like any other human who ever has or ever will walk this earth. Crazy, isn't it? So even if someone magically did have all your same underlying data, but they still wouldn't have the same experiences that shaped you in this particular moment in time that you've lived through. So you really are one of a kind. That troublesome but lovable upbringing has made you into a certain kind of person. I know, a lovable one, right? But you've developed a keen interest and an eye for certain things. You've developed a sense of curiosity, and you've had many mentors and teachers over the years, some good, some bad. I'm sure someone comes to mind, but for better or worse, they've made you you. And so you might be wondering, hey, but what about all those little quirks I hate about myself? I'm sure we all have those, right? Those little things that bug you that you do and you beat yourself up over. Well, they might actually be your greatest asset in this age of AI and monotony as everything's trying to be standardized. So those little things are what make you you and original. And so that can be how you stand out in your story. And so you need to learn how to lean into these little things to unleash your full potential. And so in your story lies how you can best serve the world. For example, I was always known as a creative one when I was a kid, a bit of a dreamer, right? And so I was always making things and exploring the fascinating world inside my mind. And so that probably explains some of those B grades that I talked about and why I drifted from football to music and stuff like that, because I was, I guess, trying to find my place in the world and experimenting. And I didn't like being forced into certain things. I was very much autonomous and wanting to do my own thing. But then over time, that magic got beat out of me as I tried to pursue a good career in accounting. I was certainly playing it safe and I chose a decision that I thought would make others happy, but it wasn't making me happy, that choice of going into accounting. And so now I wonder, how could have my life been different if I dared to speak up, say what I feel, and follow my heart at the time? But here I am many years later, and I'm trying to return to this creative sense and this gift that I've known has existed in me all along. It's just felt like it's been dormant for many years, but now I'm reviving it. And so I invite you to consider what you have lying dormant inside you that you could maybe bring to life in some way. And so since I'm here, like returning to this creative sense, suddenly that weakness in the accounting world, which probably made me unproductive and inconsistent, is suddenly become a great strength in this online space as I have endless energy, enthusiasm as I show up creatively. And so I feel like this is just the beginning for me and it feels natural. I feel more alive. And I'm pretty sure you have some inklings for a better path that would be more suited to you, or you wouldn't be here tuning into my work. And so I think maybe it's time that you explore your gifts and unleash some of your hidden talents. Now I invite you to consider these reflection questions as we wrap up today's episode. 1, where am I adopting a fixed mindset towards my dreams? 2, how can I shift to a growth mindset and increase my desire to learn? 3, how can I choose myself over the next week? 4, what is a hidden gift from my story which could unleash me on the path to achieving my dreams? I'll wrap this one up with a quote to ponder from one of my favorite poets, David White. We have a path that no other human being has ever followed since the beginning of time, and never ever will till the end of time. So saying that a human being has a specific original gift is not Pollyannish at all. It's incredibly congruent with the practical understanding of the way the constellation of a human identity is put together by the uniqueness of who brought them in, how they were brought in, and where they grew up, and who they grew up with, and what they grew into. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that inspires some reflection and provides some initial steps on that new direction that you've maybe been hiding from. As always, like and subscribe, send me a DM or a comment, leave a review, and that would be greatly appreciated. I always look forward to hearing from people. And if you want to dive deeper, I've got my newsletter version of My Creative Calling, which has my latest content and what I'm thinking about and how I can best serve you. So if you'd like more, you can subscribe to that at my website at mattkhead.com, and I'll put a link below. Thanks and have a nice day.